Okay, you are not ready for this. Princess Charlotte, yes, sweet little Charlotte, has been holding on to a royal bomb for years. And guess what? She's finally let it all out. And trust me, the palace will never be the same again. Just days after turning 10, when most kids are thinking about cake and toys, Charlotte did the unthinkable. She broke the royal silence. She exposed a chilling, long-kept secret that even her closest family members didn't see coming. Now, before we dive in, tell me, have you ever stumbled upon a royal scandal before? 1 for yes, 0 for never. Let's see who's in the loop. Back to Charlotte. She's always had this calm, composed energy, like very Princess Kate meets young Diana. But behind that smile, there's been something brewing, something huge, a secret so intense that it could change the entire dynamic of the royal family. And it all points to one woman, Queen Camilla. Yes, Camilla. Charlotte's been watching, silently, patiently, and she finally couldn't keep it to herself anymore. See, Charlotte's no ordinary royal kid. She's sharp. She sees things, feels things. When people talk about Princess Diana, her late grandmother, there's this softness in the air. You can literally feel the warmth. People smile, they glow. But when Queen Camilla comes up, the energy just drops. It's cold, uncomfortable, like everyone's pretending. And Charlotte, she's been sensing this since she was little. She knew something wasn't right. The stories about Diana were filled with love, compassion, and kindness. Camilla's presence? Formal, distant, icy. Even though Camilla was crowned queen beside King Charles last year, the acceptance isn't fully there. Not from the public and definitely not from the younger royals. And Charlotte, she felt the divide. No amount of crowns or ceremonies could fake the warmth Diana gave effortlessly. Now here's where it gets real. Charlotte's relationship with Camilla has always been, well, awkward. Polite, sure, but never close. Not like with her maternal grandparents, the Middletons. Oh, those moments are full of baking cookies, hugs, laughter, and holiday magic. Camilla, not so much. Even at public events, you can see the difference. Camilla showers her own grandchildren with attention. Hugs, laughs, joy. But with William and Kate's kids, there's distance. Prince Louis once stood awkwardly alone while Camilla laughed with her other grandkids. It wasn't blatant, but it wasn't subtle either. The world saw it. So did Charlotte, and then it happened. Charlotte overheard something she wasn't meant to hear, a quiet conversation, but the words? Earth-shattering. Camilla, the queen, was doubting Prince William, saying he wasn't ready to be king, that King Charles should stay in power longer because William lacked the maturity. Can you imagine? Charlotte was stunned, hurt, furious, and heartbroken. This wasn't just some gossip or silly comment. This was a direct attack on her dad, the man she looks up to more than anyone. And for days, she carried it silently. Until one moment, in a quiet corridor, she turned to her parents, Prince William and Princess Kate, and told them everything. Yes, Charlotte spilled the tea, and the shock on their faces? Unforgettable. Charlotte's words weren't childish ramblings. They were calm, clear, and full of conviction. She remembered every word Camilla had said. William and Kate stood there frozen. Catherine gently placed her hand on Charlotte's shoulder, trying to hold back tears. She knew this wasn't just gossip. This was a truth too heavy for a child. William, he was shaken. He's always kept a composed front, but hearing this from his own daughter, his emotions cracked. Suddenly, everything, the past, the tension, the whispers, all made sense. And while Camilla continued her royal duties, smiling at cameras and attending charity events, something shifted behind those palace walls. People started to see it. The cracks, the chill. Charlotte's truth was out, and the royal image was never going to be the same. After Charlotte's revelation, Catherine, ever so composed, didn't panic. But behind that calm exterior was a mother deeply shaken. Her daughter had just crossed a line no royal child ever dares to. But instead of scolding, Catherine gently reminded Charlotte of the importance of being careful, because in their world, even truths can be twisted. Still, it was obvious. Something had changed. See, Catherine has always made sure her kids respect Camilla, not out of love, but out of duty. She never encouraged a deep emotional bond, not because she was bitter, but because deep down, her loyalty still lives with Diana's memory. Always has, always will. Unlike the warmth they get from Grandma and Grandpa Middleton, home-baked cookies, messy crafts, heartfelt hugs, Camilla's interactions are stiff, measured, calculated. It's all for show. The contrast? So obvious it almost hurts. Now, let's talk about the public moments no one could ignore. One was during Queen Elizabeth's funeral. Charlotte, emotional and fragile, was lightly teased by George, as siblings do. But Camilla? She stepped in and suggested Charlotte be taken away from the scene. Sounds simple, right? But the tone? The energy? It felt cold. Like discipline, not comfort. Like disconnect, not support. Then came King Charles's coronation. Charlotte bowed gracefully to her grandfather, but not to Camilla. Was it a mistake, or was that her quiet statement? Observers noticed. Whispers turned into murmurs. And just like that, the tension was back in the spotlight. Charlotte wasn't lashing out. She was reflecting, processing, making sense of everything in the only way a 10-year-old princess could, through instinct and silence. Here's where the legacy part kicks in. Charlotte doesn't just know of Diana, she feels her. Through stories, photos, and her father's quiet moments of reflection, Diana is not just a royal figure to Charlotte, she's a presence, a guide. Camilla, on the other hand, has built her own reputation, not through warmth, but through survival. Her rise in the royal family wasn't a fairy tale. It was a strategic climb, and to her credit, she stayed resilient. But even now, there's a layer of distrust, of guarded energy, of tension. And Charlotte, she picks up on it all, especially after overhearing Camilla undermine William. That wasn't just an opinion, it felt like betrayal. To Charlotte, William is the rightful future king. Her father is kind, steady, strong, everything Diana stood for, everything Charlotte believes in. So she decided, even if it was hard, to defend that. The palace didn't issue any statements, of course not. But insiders, they started noticing the changes. Charlotte's demeanor around Camilla grew noticeably distant. Not cold, just formal, detached. Like she knew something she wasn't supposed to. Even at events where royal smiles are supposed to be flawless, the energy between them felt off, unspoken, heavy, and with Camilla rumored to soon drop the consort and fully embrace the queen title, the timing, too perfect, almost like she's trying to cement her place before William steps into his. The whispers became theories. Theories became quiet concern. Was Camilla subtly sidelining William? Was she influencing King Charles's decisions behind the scenes? And suddenly, little Charlotte's confession didn't sound so childish anymore. Most kids deal with school, friends, maybe a curfew. Charlotte, she's navigating politics, power struggles, and legacy wars all before hitting her teens. But despite the drama, she still finds time to be a kid. She reads, she plays soccer, she bakes with her brothers. She's close to both George and Louis, especially George, who's already starting to carry the future on his shoulders. But there's a sadness there too, a knowing look, a burden she didn't choose but can't ignore anymore. Because the truth is, Charlotte has grown up in a palace where emotions are often hidden, where titles matter more than feelings. But not in the Wales household. William and Catherine have made sure their children know love comes before legacy, and honesty matters. So when Charlotte spoke up, it wasn't rebellion. It was loyalty. It was courage. It was heartbreak. Now, to be fair, Camilla isn't some villain in the classic sense. She's done good work, attends events, champions causes, stays composed. But that doesn't erase the quiet shadows she walks in. She was never embraced the way Diana was. Never will be. And while she might laugh with Charles and carry herself with grace, the way she relates to the younger royals, especially Charlotte, tells a different story. It's not about public hugs or grand gestures, it's the subtle coldness, the distance, the careful avoidance of deep connection. Charlotte noticed, and she remembered. Charlotte may be young, but she's already becoming a force. She's been seen helping the elderly during the pandemic, shining at holiday events and showing leadership in school. Her confidence, quiet but undeniable. Her insight, sharp. And while she may not have official duties yet, her presence carries weight. Every smile, every glance, every moment of silence. She's not just another royal child. She's part of a bigger shift, one that could redefine what the monarchy looks like. William and Catherine are raising a generation that leads with heart, not just heritage. And Charlotte is at the center of that change. At the end of the day, Charlotte didn't speak up to stir drama. She did it because she felt it was right. Because no matter how many rules or expectations surround her, she knows what she saw, what she heard, what she believes in. Her truth, quietly delivered but deeply powerful, has already started to shift things inside the palace. The public may still see a united front, but behind closed doors, the ripple has begun. Will it lead to confrontation, healing, or a complete rewriting of royal roles? Only time will tell. But one thing's certain, Charlotte has found her voice, and it's only just the beginning. So what now? Princess Charlotte may be just 10, but she's already shown the kind of quiet bravery that doesn't need a microphone or a throne to make an impact. She didn't scream, she didn't stage a rebellion, she just spoke. Calmly, truthfully, and from the heart. And that's what shook the palace. She's a blend of Diana's heart, William's quiet strength, and Kate's unwavering grace. But make no mistake, Charlotte is her own person, and she's watching, learning, growing. quietly preparing for a role that may one day place her at the very center of a royal family still searching for its true direction. Will she be the one to unite old wounds with a modern soul, or will she keep walking this fine line, part of the system but never fully swallowed by it? One thing's clear, Princess Charlotte isn't just living in the shadow of her ancestors anymore. She's starting to cast one of her own.